Hey everyone, welcome back to the table. What I have for you in the bag today is the sample mini from TopsideMinis actually. I know I say mini, it's not a miniature, I get it. They're printed stickers on wood, but I like saying mini. Anyway, so this came in, and so that means I made a mistake. I made a big mistake in my, well, one of my videos earlier. I had mentioned that this ship was a sample one I got because I didn't see it on the manifest list for the Pacific, early war Pacific battle set. Actually, turns out the Cumberland is part of the Battle for the River Plate set. I should read the fine print more carefully. So depending on what rule set you play, you got 5 ships to do the Battle of the River Plate. That's fantastic. That actually makes this set even more of a bargain for those who are looking to get into possibly the gaming. That means for that $6, it's like $7 maybe if I round it. That's 5 ships to get you going. That's like a little over $1 a ship. So even a better bargain actually. So with I've got that correction out of the way, let's take a look at this. So this came in an envelope. It had a page of instructions, which I don't have. So I'm just going to show you how I stick these things together, which might be slightly different than the instructions that come, but I mean, it's not that hard. It's a sticker. So first of all, here's the one we have. This is the Yugumo. It's a Yugumo class destroyer, so this will go great into my Pacific battles. Now, what I do is I actually just grab scissors. Now, you can actually trim this with just about any device you have. If like my wife is a paper crafter card maker, so she's got the little trim cutter thing, and we've got a guillotine. I just found that it's easier just to use some scissors. So what I do is I cut on the black line, because you'll see that they've included a nice black line. From previous ones that I've cut out, I've found that even if you cut on the black lines perfectly, sometimes the model is still just ever so slightly bigger than the wood. So once you get this cut down and stuck on the wood, you still might have to do a little bit of trimming to get a nice flush fit. That's no big deal. In fact, that's kind of nice. I'd rather cut. I'm trying to think. What did my dad say? You can cut, you can remove, but you can't add, right? So if I cut too much off on this initial part, I can't add it back. So you probably can't see that. Let's move it right here. Yeah, I'm already over cutting this, leaving too much on there, I think. But I'm just going to trim this up here, and then we'll see how this fits on the wood. One thing that I didn't talk about before, but I think I'll mention it now because I'm about to stick this onto the wood base, is the adhesive is a little forgiving. So if you make your initial placement and you find that it doesn't quite, you didn't line it up quite right, you can unpeel it. Now, I will admit, over time, I don't know how strongly the adhesive settles, like over time. I just know that in the beginning here, you got a couple minutes of wiggle room, so you can peel it off if you have to. So I'm zooming in here so we can watch the adhesive part, and there's the ship there. Alright, now I always seem to struggle with this a little bit. Here we go. So I'm just separating the sticker from the pad, I guess you can call that. Now part of me really wanted to try to tear this, but I just they're so nice, I don't want to ruin them. Alright, now what I could have done before I unpeeled this was done a dry fit, and just to see how well I cut it initially. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead as is, stick this on here, and then I can trim away anything extra. So I've lined up the back edge with the wood. That lined up pretty good, and then just like a sticker, I'm just going to kind of run it across the top here. Make sure it's flush along the top as much as possible. There. Now I didn't put this all the way down yet, because what I want to do is, at least if I can be flush along a couple sides, we're good. So this, oh, you gotta see it. This appears to be pretty flush here on the back, and we appear to be pretty flush along the top. So I think it might be, and it feels pretty flush along the bottom here. So actually this one, I think I cut this pretty good on the first go. Now, just to show the adhesiveness, since I didn't completely push this down all the way, you can see there I can still take this off if I need to reposition it, which is actually, I had to do that on, I think it might have been on the Washington. You know, as you get a little bit bigger, trying to get that to lay flat all the way along the top, I had to peel it back a little bit, reposition it. But this actually appears to be pretty good. So I'm going to push this down again. And then, you know, what I did was I just laid it down flat like that, just to get a nice little push into the wood. And I can just run my finger along. I can feel this back edge is kind of off the lip a little bit. I don't know if that's going to focus for us. It focused a little bit. And then even on the side there, you can see, because I didn't cut super straight, but that's easy to resolve. With my scissors, let me zoom out just a little bit. What you can now do is just very carefully, what I do is I put it upside down. There's really not much here on that side, so I'm going to find the edge where it overlapped a little bit. And what I do is I just take my scissors and carefully try to cut close. Now, as you can see, there's just a little bit of the ship there. Well, it's not the ship, but the water. I mean, so just ever so slightly off. And because along this edge there was just an ever so, let's see here, just an ever so slight amount of wavy, I do the same thing. I'm just going to put my scissors, align it with the edge as close as I can, and just carefully, well, you can't even see it, and just kind of carefully trim along. And then I'm left with some of the overhang. I just peel that off. And then get any excess I may have. I think there's a little bit along this side. I'm going to see if I can trim that up a little bit too. There wasn't much. I might not get much, if any, here. And yep, there was just a little bit. And then there you go. You now have a ship ready to join your line of battle there. Let's see here. Zoom in. And as you can see, with just a ever so slight amount of trimming after it's on, it's done. Takes a couple minutes and you're good to go. Flip it over and you can't, you know, I don't see any overhang at that point. So it's so fun. This is so fun. When I was doing block gaming, I had some friends who are like, oh my goodness, stickering blocks is horrible. I'm one of those people that actually find that kind of therapeutic and enjoying. So sticking on stickers of ships onto wooden blocks has actually been quite enjoyable. So I hope that gives you a pretty good idea of what's involved with your Topside Minis when you get them. Granted, this was one already kind of pre-cut for me, but when you get, say, one of the sets, it does come in a, well, I'm showing you things that you can't see because I zoomed in. But when you do get your Topside Minis, they do come on a larger sheet of paper. You got to cut them out and then fine cut them from there. But otherwise, though, it's a very simple process. So anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of the work involved in creating your fleet, and I look forward to showing you more later on. Take care. Bye.